Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Striketh, and today I'm here to talk about my successes and failures as a content creator and how you can, hopefully, avoid the same traps I fell into. While the title of this video may be a bit sensational, bear with me while I explain my reason for choosing said title. I promise it'll all make sense by the end. In order for this video to be fully understood, we need to go back in time a bit and talk about myself first. Back in 2009, when many of the major YouTube personalities we see now were just getting off the ground, I was still in the US Air Force in South Korea, finishing up my final year. It wasn't until May of 2010 that I separated and became reacquainted with the civilian world. During this time, and even a bit before, people like Total Biscuit and Angry Joe were just becoming relevant. In the case of TB, he was a pretty hardcore World of Warcraft player who did a number of videos related to that game. The Azeroth Daily, which he eventually discontinued, helped launch him to where he is today. It wasn't until early in 2013 that I decided to put some actual effort into creating a video. I had uploaded a few before this, but they were just some of those really bad gameplay videos with no commentary and terrible music in the background. The video I made was my Dawnguard vs Dragonborn comparison video. To this day, it remains the first YouTube related result in Google when searching for those terms. Only the IGN and NeoSeeker forums beat me, and both of those receive far more traffic than I do. As of this video, it sits at around 90,000 total views. For me, that's amazing. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of views, especially since to this day, it still makes up the majority of my monthly view count despite being over a year and a half old. So where am I going with this? Well, it's not to pat myself on the back. What I'm actually outlining here is my failure to achieve any real success thus far. The reason for this? Well, up until recently, I've been trying to be something I'm not. I've been a huge fan of gaming personalities such as Total Biscuit and Angry Joe for a long time now, and inadvertently, I ended up copying Angry Joe a bit in some of my reviews with the way I was trying to do skits at the beginning of them. I hit the nail on the head with my Dawnguard vs Dragonborn video. I didn't do any sort of SEO optimization in the tags, I never spread it around on social networks, nothing. I uploaded it, forgot about it, and came back almost a year later to find that it had exploded in popularity. Why is that? Well, I found a niche that hadn't been filled by anyone else before. This is the key point of this video. Going a bit closer to the present now, let's continue. In January of this year, I decided to take content creation seriously. At that time, I had two ideas in my head. One of those was a vlog series titled The ROG, where I discussed gaming related news and gave my opinions of it, while the other one was a weekly review show called To Play or Not to Play. The production values in the former were basically non-existent. This was intentional, mind you. The name The ROG was because it was a raw show where I just talked about gaming related news. In most cases, I just plopped an image in the top right, and it was just 10 to 20 minutes of me talking. For the review show, I spent about 10 to 15 hours on each episode, oftentimes consuming most of my weekends just to complete it. The reviews made use of my green screen, with some skits along the way, and with the game appearing behind me while, at first, I read off a teleprompter. Later on, I decided that during the actual review portion, I would only show the game, so I appeared only in the intro and outro instead. It also made it much easier to read the script since I wasn't constantly scrolling down my screen. Neither of these ventures had very much success. Most of my reviews have double-digit numbers, while only a few have gone into triple digits. Two of them have enjoyed some success, hitting low 4-digit numbers, but otherwise it was a bust. The ROG had a couple of triple-digit episodes, but that in itself was ultimately a failure too. So when I finally moved on from these, I asked myself, why did these fail? For a while, I didn't really have an answer. Finally, I figured it out. It's because what I was trying to do was something that so many others are also trying to do. If YouTube was a sponge, then it would be absolutely saturated with all the existing gaming news and review channels out there. My problem was that I was trying to be something that I'm not. I'll never be Total Biscuit. I'll never be Angry Joe. I'll never be any of those personalities that have already found their niche and consumed their audience. The only way forward for me is to find my own niche and to find a way to make it work. This brings us to a head. If you're a content creator, it's very likely you've been influenced by some of your favorites, whether it be Total Biscuit or any number of other exceptional personalities in the business. Before you start creating content, before you spend a countless amount of hours slaving over video after video, take a good look in the mirror. Ask yourself what you can do that is different from everyone else. What makes you unique and entertaining to watch? What can you bring to the community that others aren't already doing? Until you can answer those questions, my advice is to avoid investing your time into trying to be like those other personalities that you admire. At the end of the day, no matter what you do or how many videos you produce, you're never going to be them. Find your own path. Be original. With all that being said, what is my own path? How have things changed for me since I came to this realization? Well, I looked at my past content. The ROG was basically a news reporting type of show, which I find that I'm generally fairly good at. I have no qualms reading from a script I've written, and I can generally handle a teleprompter well enough. My reviews were detailed and concise, but I was never fantastic on the green screen. I just don't have the personality that someone like Angry Joe does to really make it work. Then I found Hearthstone. I immersed myself in the game, the community, learned everything I could about the ins and outs of the game, and finally I settled on creating the Hearthstone Inquirer. This is a news and community focused show that's oriented towards keeping players informed of what's happening in the Hearthstone community, ensuring that standout players and deck builders are given the spotlight they deserve. As of this video, the first episode has been released, and so far, I've been very pleased with the result. Overall feedback has been positive, and at last, I really feel that I found my niche. The rest, from here, is just a matter of time. I urge you to think about what's been said here the next time you think about creating a video for your existing or up-and-coming YouTube channel. Think about it and reflect on it. Find a niche that nobody else is feeling, and you may just find some success. Otherwise, the internet is a harsh place, and you may find yourself left behind if you're not careful. Whether you're an existing content creator or one looking to get into it for the first time, please do let me know about your successes and failures in the comments section below. I love to hear what worked and didn't work for you. As always, thanks for watching. This is Striketh, checking out.